NASA and some of the programs or a mission goal that you set out there, and perhaps a little bit about the program.
Great. So I joined NASA, and after 2 months, I was made their CIO, and I had been at EPA for 25 years.
Right.
And so talking about a steep learning curve and a steep acceptance curve, fortunately, I went to charm school here in Washington, D.C., which is actual fact, so I could just turn that one on. But really, my focus from day one was, how do I get 10 centers with really smart folks, right? They are rocket scientists. How do I get 10 centers going the same direction on important projects that are both capabilities associated with our missions, which is both airplane associated as well as satellite and rockets associated, and how we can level up in the cybersecurity way, because in some instances I found we were working against each other.
Wow.
And not really against the outside folks trying to get in that we didn't really want to come in, and they weren't invited.
And what are some of the big benefits you've seen coming out of these programs?
So our big benefit was certainly made public this past week, and that is to be able to move the dime on our report card for FITARA. I mean, and that is to go from an F to a C+ in such time. And during the hearing, I had the confidence because I knew that I could bring the teams together and get them to focus on the goals at hand and how to have that clarity in working together, and that by working together, we were going to achieve a lot more for NASA than we were not really combining what we were trying to do. And there was a level of simplicity that also needed to happen. NASA, like many federal agencies, are a lot of go-to folks that really want to do a lot, but sometimes you get too much on your plate. Sure. And we needed to thin that out and sequence them so we could really start to make a difference, not just in the FITARA, but in across the board in how we manage IT. And NASA, in some ways, is a little bit special with regard to its IT, because our IT flies at low Earth orbit all the way up to high Earth orbit. And of course, we've gone to Pluto, and we've got some great missions going around Saturn right now, seeing things that we've never seen before because of IT inventions.
Right. Terrific. That's good stuff. And I love the analogies. You guys are great with this. How about lessons learned? Things you'd like to pass on our listening audience in terms of perhaps help them along the way down the road?
Great. So I'm going to borrow from sports as well. So if anybody's trained for a marathon or a triathlon, and you just got to stick with it on that hot August month, and you don't want the hot August run when you really don't want to run, and go ahead and just click the miles away. And that's just perseverance. Yeah. Finding ways to sort of re-energize yourself, because you've always got to stay in the game fresh in order to lead folks to it. But perseverance, a little bit of cheerleading, a little bit of cajoling, and some tough conversations. And so you have to also have the courage to stand in the face of very stiff winds sometimes, but know that on the other side, you'll have greatness on the other side. And there's a lot of, pulling what David said, there's really a lot of learning and listening. And certainly for me, I don't know anything about rockets or satellites. So it was a great opportunity for me to be a little awestruck in what we get to do, and then work with them on areas where I could actually bring value.
Terrific. Well said. Well done. Yeah. When there is no wind, you row. Renee, what do you think? Are we getting out in front of the cybersecurity issues?
I think we're
Your
changing.
FITARA score says yes.
It's a point in time. I think what we've done is we've started to change the dialogue on cybersecurity, and that's where it has to change. And that is this is not about a risk to a CIO or to a CISO or anything like that. This is a risk to the enterprise and to the reputation of the business or the federal agency.
Well put.
And so if we can change the dialogue, and not in IT speak, but in the way businesses need to change, supply chain check, codes, are we checking syntax error and potentially cybersecurity errors, right, and building that in from the beginning. And so empowering people to do their jobs at NASA, from where I'm from, is both, from my perspective, a safety issue and security issue, and they dovetail very nicely. And if we can move to making that part of the fabric of what NASA does, as we know, safety is hugely important to NASA, but if we can put that and security and change the way we do business, which is where we're going right now, that's when we will make a difference in terms of the aggressive pursuit of our assets through our firewalls, if you say.
Excellent.